It's all interactive, right?
Yeah, so it's not one after the other, right? Okay, now I get it then.
You have mental planes, right? But you can't have mental planes without what?
Energy one.
Energy planes, right?
Yeah.
They all interact,
Okay,
okay? So,
yeah. So they're kind of interdependent, right?
huh?
They're somewhat interdependent.
Yeah, they interdepend on each other.
Okay,
All right, because these two produce this.
exactly. Okay, yes, then I do get it. So the mental is when you think about it, energy is what you need to bring it to fruition.
Yeah.
Then,
In other words, what holds matter together? Anyone?
I guess,
No.
energies?
Light.
What's it? Mind holds matter together. Okay? How does mind hold matter together? What does it use to hold matter together? Huh? Who said it? Energy. Right? Okay, and then how does mind preserve energy and matter? Through love energy. Right?
Which is different than the other energy.
It's still the same. All of this is one.
Oh, okay.
But love energy is a what? What type of energy it is? It's a preservational energy. Right? Okay?
Yeah.
And then you can break this up into 101 type of energies.
Okay.
Okay? But all of them share something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they function together in order to create what? Realms of existence. Okay?
And one last question, when people do put out negative things,
Mm-hmm.
they think about it, they put the energy to it, and they bring it to existence. I mean, obviously the energy is, part of it is not love preservation in it. Well, maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know, I guess that's my question.
It's not what now?
So when, say, someone kills someone else, or somebody does anything negative, you say that what keeps matter together is energy, and part of it is the love preservation energy.
Right.
How does that play into something negative?
Because, see, that's where most people get this wrong when they don't understand it.
Mhm.
That's a good question. All right? I think I went over this with you all. And through the scale. You have a higher type of love, right?
Mhm.
And then you have a basic type of love. All of this is energy, right? It's an energy of preservation. Then you have a gross type of love. Which is based on attachment, possession, and all these other things, right? Now, this type of love is actually Why is it impersonal?
It's not attached to any single person.
Yeah, it states that God can't love one because God loves all, right? And that's why all things are preserved in creation, because God's love is not on one single individual or thing. Is divided equally among all of us, right? Good and bad. So therefore, even the people who's doing the worst things are what? Held together by love. Okay, you understand it now? Okay, so now a person who has this to the 100th power, right? Right? Person who has this type of negative love or gross love or attachment to the 100 power, it may push them out to do what? To steal, right? To commit battery against someone, to even kill someone, right? In order to do what? To protect those things that they say they love, right? Now, it's a basic form, a gross basic form of love, possessed in a negative way, because they're trying to do all that to preserve something. But of course, all of this is governed by what? By karma. And karma is what? Huh? What? Pressure is a pressure towards conformity to what? To the laws of God, right? So, it's a pressure towards conformity to the laws of God. Therefore, that's why God doesn't need to judge us, because God loves us too much. And He placed us in a framework of His love and laws. So no matter what we do wrong, He's always there with us, because why? The law of karma, the pressure towards conformity, is going to push us back on the road. Right? So what happens? That guy or woman or whoever that have taken this so-called love energy, because it's a basic form of love, but they have taken this possession and attachment and whatever, and they took it too far. Right? And they feel this passion for something and they don't understand it. So they go and they just dive into it and they commit all type of crimes. What happens is that the repercussion or the reaction of their actions forces them to reconcile their actions through what? Through punishment. Not punishment came on by God, but punishment brought upon them by their own actions. So we punish ourselves in the realms of existence of God, because it's designed to do that. So we, many things began to happen to that person to push them back on the pathway, to push them back up this way. Okay?
And basic love?
Basic love can be the love of a mother.
Okay.
The love of a family member, the love of a friend. You don't want to so much to possess them, but you love them enough to take care of them. You love them enough to nourish them. You love them enough so that they can gain the strength to take care of themselves. But you don't necessarily want to possess them.
And where does the love of a partner fit in?
The love of what?
A partner.
The love of a partner can be any one of these. And
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, but a balanced love of a partner is the basic love, which grows up by the time they go into a relationship for many, many years. They find themselves in an impersonal type love, you know, because their love grows for that particular person. Okay? But, you know, you have a battered syndrome husband and wife in those relationships where either the husband think they present. The basic love is that they love each other and they just want the best for them. They don't, you know, they don't want to possess them, but they love them, and they want, you know, they want to see them grow, you know, in a positive way. So they love them, but they don't necessarily want to possess or attach themselves to them. So that's the basic love. All right. Any other questions on this? Did everybody kind of get this? Okay. So is any other questions from last week?
And I'm wondering, is that fixed number or you just throw out?
I just threw it in my heart. Okay, so this week we'll go.
Before you start this week, we're making the announcement. Before you start today's class, we're making the
Okay,
announcement.
go ahead.
Hello everyone, this class is going to be the last class that we broadcast on Ustream. Next week in February, we'll start broadcasting on YouTube. We'll send out an email later today or tomorrow morning describing the transition over to YouTube, as well as a link where you can find our YouTube channel. You can also go into Meetup and find a link to our YouTube channel there. But just remember, if you log on next week onto Ustream and you don't see us, that's because we moved over to YouTube. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, last week, we kind of talked about this. These are the forces within the chakra. All right? These are some of the major forces within the chakra. There's many more, but this is one of them to simplify things for you. Okay, so let's say this right here is the Sushumna, right? What is the Sushumna? Anybody?
Nadi, spine.
Spinal column. Okay. So, and then this right here is the Bindu. All right? And then from the Bindu, you have what coming from the Bindu?
Consciousness, energy.
The Nadi, which is what?
All pervasive energy.
You said it earlier. We know that Nadi is what? And sound is what? Okay? So, now, the Bindu is what too?
All knowledge is safe.
It's a spiritual germ, right? Which is classified as all knowledge space. Alright. Now, everybody understand this so far? Huh? And the Naka comes out, and then within the Naka, you have let's say these are the what?
Legion.
Right? Which is what? Petals, right? Or seed mantras. All right? Then we have the Tyrant rays. Within the chakras, right?
When they relate to Nadi,
Huh?
what type of rays, Nadi.
Not really. It is, but not really. I want you to understand how it goes. Didn't you just go over Nada? What was Nada last week? Didn't we just go over that?
Soundless sound.
It was what?
Soundless sound.
It was part of it, but it wasn't excellent. What is not, what is, the Tyrant rate? So, remember?
Metallic matter that's emitted by the sun.
Yeah, but what is it?
Which,
Let's say we got, this has 6 petals, so this is what chakra?
Peace. Sex.
Huh? Sex chakra. And the sex chakra is what? It's the seed of what? Of consciousness. Okay? So, let's say what was the main thing that we talked about the capital rays last week? What was the main thing? It does what?
it holds together everything in the solar system.
Yeah, but
Everything.
it creates the what?
Parlous.
Huh?
Parlous.
No. Creates what?
Consciousness.
What is,
The worlds in which we exist,
it what?
the worlds in which we
World.
exist.
The realms of existence, right? That's the main thing it does. Because why? what I said is. Is this too vague? That's too vague? I'm the scientist.
I'm also sick.
What?
I'm sick.
The modes it dictates, right? That makes it better. It dictates the what? The modes of motion, right? Anybody understand that?
When you say mode,
Okay, let's look at who took chemistry. Everybody took chemistry?
Yeah, but it wasn't all this.
So what about, in chemistry, they do what? They do what in chemistry? They with the, when they try to figure out the,
Configuration.
yes, they do what?
Formula.
They use a formula, right? Right? They dictate the pattern of what?
Matter.
Of electrons. Right? They do what to this? They count how electrons do what?
Transfer over.
Transfer energy back and forth and circulate.
in the orbitals.
Yeah, you have the nucleus, right? And within the nucleus, you have the nucleus and the proton, right? And then you have the electron out here, right? And you may have a dozen electrons. And based on the electronic configuration of that electron, right? Based on the electronic configuration of electron will determine what color, right? Right? It depends on, it tells you the texture, right? It tells you whether it's gonna be solid or what? Or liquid or gas, right? You remember that in science? Okay, they stole it from this. That's what the atomic matter is. The atomic matter, because the atomic matter creates the modes of motion that dictate the realms of existence. You get it now? Because why? Because remember I was telling you, there's 56. There's 56 half rays in the base of the spine, right? And there's 62 in the sex center, right? So we said that's 118, right? So in other words, when the great master said that you had to conquer 118 worlds in order to move to the consciousness of the solar plexus, right? This is what they were talking about. Because each race created a realm of existence because why? It dictated the modes of motion. It dictated the pattern in which all the energy will line itself up in and create the worlds.
In scientific terms, you say it is the electromagnetic spectrum, the rainbow.
Well, it's the force that dictates the pattern of the electromagnetic spectrum. All right? And the same, and that's why we say with each ray, you have what? What do you have with each ray? A diva, a host of divas. What does divas do? What do they do with the energy that you create? They regulate it, they dictate it, right? Based on what? Based on your output. See? Based on this electronic output. The electrons have a particular energy that allows it to do what? To move in a certain direction. When it moves in a certain direction, it breaks into what? What does it break into when it moves in a certain direction? What does science tell us? Anybody? Nobody? How do you spell magnetic? Huh? Gotta go slow, I'm 50 years old.
M-A-G.
Uh-huh.
N-E-T-I-C.
Magnetic spectrum, right? So what happens when the electron breaks into the electronic magnetic spectrum, it releases what? A color. And that color begins to take shape for all of this. Right? It's the same thing happening with the gamma rays. Because the whole solar system is blanketed with what? With the solar plasma. What is the solar plasma? Metallic matter. So it's the same thing. As we live in this world, we are constantly breaking and hitting that gamma rays, which produce a particular color, texture, and all that. That's why all of us look different. Because of the pattern of our own aura, our own auric body, which produce everything behind it. You understand it now?
So with the topic rays, could they be described as higher consciousness or maybe the realms?
It is the matter or the nectar of the gods. When you look at it. Because the solar system the sun is a god. It's a solar god. And it produces having matter in order to give us life. Right? But also you have what? You have a center sun of the galaxy that produce atomic matter too, that the suns live on. See? And the planets. You know? So it goes on and on and on and on and on. Then you have the sun, which is a part of course, the logos of the solar system, right? But there's an entity called the logos of the solar system that maybe even the sun responds to. Okay? And then the logos of the solar system responds to, to the galaxy or the center sun of the solar system. We don't know. But it goes on and on and on. And this atomic matter expresses itself throughout the universe, throughout all the galaxies. Okay? So that's what the atomic matter dictates, because all of this is going to interact with the atomic matter. And based on the interaction, we produce, the interaction with the modes of motion, we produce color, temperature, solid, liquid, gas, whatever. And then that intelligence speaks through that, or lives through that, in other words.
How does it move through the chakra?
What?
The atomic matter? Like, it moves out of it or into it? Like,
Well, the atomic matter is embedded here. It's embedded here. So all of this is atomic matter. But the sound goes through it, the light goes through it. All the energies flow through it, right? So it is produced, the original sound is produced from where? The Bindu, right? For that chakra. And then the Bindu has what? It has this flow of Nata, because the Nata comes from the Bindu. And then the original samskaras are set up, which is the petals. And then the use of the atomic matter has come into play, because why? You first had to have motion. Atomic matter was always there, because the atomic matter came from there, the sun. Conditioned by the earth at this particular chakra. Conditioned by the earth, right? And then And then, so now, the metallic matter is activated from what? From the parasound, right? From the original samskara, the petals, and then we see the interaction of these with the metallic matter, and then the Nazis pass through the Nazis pass through the petals coming from the base of the spine. All right, and it actually began to express a consciousness, right? Because the Nazis is the thing that aligns the consciousness, so they give expression to consciousness.
So this is our perception of what we see and how we react to everything.
What?
Like, that flow of energy within the body, consciousness.
Mm-hmm. So the Nazis carries the consciousness of the soul. So the Nazis come from where? From the Kundalini in the base of the spine. And the Kundalini is what? Is the vehicle of consciousness. So, and the Nazis is an extension of what? Of the Kundalini. So the Nazis is an extension of the vehicle of consciousness. So the Nazis take advantage of this configuration of energy, right? And then it produces, because the Nazis, when they intersect, it is consciousness, right? And the Nazis only mean what? What's a better terminology? Flying force is right, but the Nazis is a flow of consciousness, a flow of energy
So
that produce consciousness.
it's hard to look at all together from my understanding. The Bindu releases knowledge. It's all knowledge. It's all knowledge space. Okay? And it's, I guess, translated through the type of matter, that knowledge. Okay? Now, the flow of consciousness within the Nadi, that's what allows us to perceive whatever level of consciousness we are at, right?
Think about it as a spiritual term. So what is a spiritual term?
It's like a seed.
A seed, right? So, then do, and then what is sound? So if the Bindu release a sound, then what is that?
Originating consciousness.
Huh?
Like originating consciousness.
And so when we learn something, we're learning something that's already there, that's already been there forever.
Yeah.
It's coming out of the Bindu.
Everything has always been there forever. Even the stuff that, even the advanced technology that we would use 3,000 years from now, has always been here. Because it's what? It's based on what? It's based on one law. It's all based on karma. That's why they said the law is God and God is the law. So therefore everything is always here. So when you think of Bindu, don't detach Bindu from consciousness. It's just the Bindu is like supreme consciousness. Alright? So within each chakra is supreme consciousness. Right? But the Bindu is silent until we activate it. Until we take a part of that little tiny consciousness and bring it back up and have the basic consciousness bleed through it, in other words, in order to grasp the light or the knowledge of that level of the Bindu.
And we already, and it always is active. We just haven't accessed it ourselves.
Of course it's always active. But because it's the background of our very existence. Remember, the superconsciousness, the superconscious mind, which is the closest thing to the Bindu, it's always there, it's always active, it's always monitoring, it's always calibrating the entities of our total existence. Because it's like the great diva of our body, right? But we are unaware of it. The same way the subconscious mind is that great diva on the very physical level. Because what does the subconscious mind do? It keeps the blood pumping through the body, right? It calibrates all the energy, all the food, everything through the body. All right, so it's that great diva on the physical and mental planes too. The subconscious or the unconscious.
So the blockage which limits us from accessing our knowledge, in a sense, it's always at the base of the spine.
No, it's
That's where your consciousness is tied up.
it's not only there. Remember, where does everybody got this on English? Where does basic consciousness extend from?
The solar plexus.
No. Basic consciousness?
Basic spine.
Basic is fine, right?
In all the lower realms of basic consciousness.
So, basic consciousness comes from the base of the spine, right? Comes up to the sex center, but how does this basic consciousness link itself with the sex center?
Ida and Bengala.
Huh?
Through Ida and Bengala.
Yes, a lot of them develop Nazis. It's linked. It's to the Nazis.
That's why I asked that question.
It's linked to the Nazis, right? So the Nazis, the basic consciousness comes from, the Nazis move up and it goes through the sex center, right? And it's weaving through all of this, creating the motion that would do what? Creates color, texture, solids, liquid, gas, right? Because the atomic matter is large there. This is the atomic matter. You got 56 atomic rays, which is really matter, and 62 atomic rays in the sex center. This is the base. This is the sex. Right? So it goes through, it moves from this atomic level to this atomic level. Okay? So now each chakra is an atomic level of operation. All right? Am I losing anybody? Everybody understand?
So what is it you said is moving from the base of the sex?
I said the Nazis.
Okay.
The Nazis is what? It's your basic consciousness. Right? It's your limited. Huh?
That percentage.
It's your basic consciousness, right? Because why? What's the unique thing about the base of the spine? The base chakra. Huh? It's for what?
Kundalini is tied up.
Yeah, but how did Kundalini get there? Huh? Through evolution. How did evolution happen? Okay, and when it pushed it down, what happened? When it came from, let's say it came from the crown chakra, right? It came through the crown chakra, to the Christ chakra, right? Down to the throat, to the heart, right? You all should know this now. Nobody remember this? Huh? What am I getting at?
So it got pushed down until they reached that shift state.
Okay,
But
but
now
now
he's branched out.
what's the unique thing about the base of time?
Because it's a higher level of the, then,
No, it is that,
It's
but
linked to Christ, it's linked all the way to the
it's
top.
leave out because why? When the Shakti power fell,
Contains all of the higher centers.
it took a signature of all of this here. So that's how it was able to release the Nadis and go back up. See?
But it's searching within you. Right?
It's searching for what? What is it searching for?
So we're back.
An equilibrium. It's searching to balance itself. Because when the energies fell, in the ancient teachers, they say it went from whole to not whole. In other words, it was a part of the all. And then all of a sudden, it was aware of itself. And it felt disconnected from the all. So it's searching for that connection again. It's searching to be connected to the all. You see? You understand?
Yes.
I thought it was based on your karmic entity that determined.
It is, but when it fell, it had no unbalanced karma. Because the soul was connected to what?
The spirit.
The spirit. So at that point, the soul was pure because it was aware of all the laws and it never moved outside of the so-called law. You can't move out of the law anyway. That's why I say that. But it never did anything to cause a domino effect in the wrong way, right? It stayed within the law. So when the soul, in order for the soul to begin to experience things, because the soul needed not to experience anything. Because if you are connected to the all-knowledge space, why do you need to experience something? Right? Because you're a part of that, you are that. But in order to bring about this thing called evolution, it had to go through involution. So what it did, it pushed itself down through the different realms, right? Through all the havoc operations, and lodged itself here where it found the perfect balance in order to separate itself from its higher self. And that's why the basic consciousness is in the basic spine. And then when it separated itself, they brought about this thing called Ida and Pingala Nakis, a negative and a positive side, which when it comes back up and begin to go through each chakra, it forms a level of consciousness at each level. And that's how we experience life. That's how we experience life. Now we know that in order for life to be expressed on the physical plane, it had to bring it to at least the throat chakra in order to allow us to express out of the mental world onto the physical world.
You mean
Right.
right up
The identity had to walk over up there, okay, in order to begin to express. And then,
So before that, we had no body. There was no body, like physical body,
there was no gross physical body.
before it got to the throat.
Right. There was a subtle bodies, there was a subtle rims at the heart chakra.
Our body existed, but
Yeah, but I'm saying the subtle bodies, like the astral and the etheric bodies existed here.
I got there.
Yeah. But in order to go to the physical plane, it had to go to the throat chakra. Alright, yeah.
But why then such a gross why it needs to be expressed in such a high center?
Because that's the center of purification.
Mm.
That's the center of purification. You understand? You needed an instrument in order to move mental matter to physical matter without
Okay.
distortion.
Mhm.
In other words, if I want to take the electronic magnetic spectrum and put it into radio waves or put it into some type of picture form, what do I have to do? I have to create
Kind of
a
medium.
series of vacuums, right? And weed out the distortion, right? So I need something in order to give me that stream of binary force going in order to translate it. So this is the translation. The heart, the throat chakra.
That's the medium in which the mental is
That's the
carried.
medium in which it's like it amplifies that subtle, that power and subtle sound into gross audible sound, right? And it also allows the energy to go into action to do what? To create all the things around us. All right. So that's the greatness of the base of the spine. It holds this secret knowledge.
Those configurations are.
Yeah, for going up. All right. So that's why the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, they look to move to that level because they know at that level, they're getting closer and closer to the self-conscious, and then from self-consciousness they go to God consciousness.
So when we begin to wake up Kundalini, to move it up Sushumna, up to Brahmanadi, we gotta kind of reverse this action back down to the spine and then push it up one channel.
What do you mean?
Ayana and Pingala did this pattern, and once we get to the throat, we can express ourselves. You thought that when you awaken Kundalini, you're entering this dormant state of death. That's because you're drawing all that back.
Yeah, you have to draw all the energy back down here and then push it up in the right direction through Shushuna.
That's why you can't speak, you can't walk, you can't
Yes,
live.
yes. You have to,
Can't wail.
yeah. You have to push it and you have to bring the energy up through Shushuna. And then from there, you can activate the chakra and express the power of the Bindu in the chakra, in each chakra. Okay? But you have to be able to push all that energy back to the base of the spine and then push it back up to Shushuna. Right?
Now, just as the base contains signatures of all the higher centers, does the crown work in the same way with the centers above it? Does the crown work in the same way with the centers above it?
Yeah, because everything came from the crown.
And with the centers above the crown, does it work in the same way?
What do you mean the centers above the crown?
Well, when we reach the, I'm assuming when we reach the crown, that'll become our
That's
new.
not knowledge that is given out. The crown is many, well, some ancient books give a list of the chakras within the crown. In other words, the crown chakra has many chakras within it. So it's not really none above the crown as we know it, right? But some people try to say that it is. But it's really part of the crown. Because there's 900, there's supposed to be 900 some petals in the crown, 999 petals in the crown. Some people say 1,000. But it's really like 900 and something, right? And those petals can operate as chakras too, okay? But now once we leave this earth, I'm sure it's probably, a whole other system of chakras that we have to deal with on a cosmic level. But right now, that's something we don't have to worry about for maybe, maybe 100,000, 100 million years. So we'll have to worry about that right now. But So, but don't get caught up in all of that.
Okay.
I see people don't get caught up in it and they just, oh my God. You know, it's open the crown chakra, you know? So, you know, just don't get caught up in it. You know, deal with, in fact, most serious books for the serious students deals with the 6 chakras. They recognize the 7 major chakras, they even recognize the 9 major chakras, and maybe a little bit more, maybe 12 major chakras, but they only give lessons on the 6. Okay? Because when it's time for you to have anything above that, it'll come to you naturally anyway. Okay? So any questions? Everybody understand so far?
Yes.
Okay, so we see that the Nadis originate from the base of the spine, and it forms the different levels of consciousness that we need to exist on. And with those levels of consciousness, on each level of consciousness, or tabic realm of existence, or tabic operation, however you want to say it, there's a governing diva, okay? There's a governing diva there. And that diva has a host of divas, okay?
So there's 360 rays, 360 governing divas.
And then there's a host of divas, because each petal is also a diva. Alright? So each petal and because you may have the main BJ, right? And with that particular sound, right? That sound, there's a diva. Right? And then that's like the chakra, the main chakra diva. But also you have the petals. You have the chakra petals. Right? Which is also a BJ, or BJs, right? And those are divas. There's divas connected to those chakra petals. Yeah.
So, for example, the Muladhara chakra has 56 tapic rays
Right.
and 4 petals. So there'd be 60 divas helping to operate that one
It could
chakra.
be 60, or it could be 60 times. Well, it could be 60, and then it could be 60 times 7. We don't know. In other words, like I say, with each petal, there's a diva over the petal, but that diva may have a host of divas in order to do that work. You understand? But we know that each petal has a particular diva that governs that particular petal, or that particular sound vibration. And that sound vibration creates what? It also does what?
Creates
That motion, yeah, that configuration. Okay? So what?
I was gonna say, how can we work with the divas? Is that like the Bhakti or something?
I mean, we work with the divas every day. Every thought we're working with the divas.
Like, I guess in our spiritual development.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's through what? It's through, I go back to the 8 limbs of yoga. Right? What's the first one?
Next time.
More lifestyle, yeah. So because why? Because through your thought and actions and doing the right thing, you do what? You give divas good energy to work with. So they produce what? Yeah, they produce good reactions back to you. So that's one way you work with the divas on a very basic level. That's one way.
So it's always the divas that are manipulating your thoughts and actions. Like, there's always people that say, oh, the universe gave me this to me because I projected this thought, but it's really the divas.
Yeah. It's them projecting that thought, and the demons have no other choice but to do what? Release good energy back to them. That's if the energy is good.
Right.
But you can control our thoughts, right? Like through our breath, you can control our thoughts.
You can do what?
We can control our thoughts through our breath, like it's not good to blame divas or something that.
No, it's not. You're not blaming the divas. You're not blaming the divas. You're not blaming the divas. What you're doing, a diva, the only thing a diva does is manipulate the energy that you give it. So the diva is not responsible for the reaction. You are responsible for that. If you thought a bad thought, then you created a negative or bad reaction to come back to you. The diva was only the microphone that you use to project your voice, in other words.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to project your voice 100 yards, and you grab the microphone and you speak, and because you went through that particular level of consciousness, which is the diva or the microphone, then your voice go 100 yards and you'll affect, a greater number of people. And then the reaction of those people coming back to you is what? It's your own. If you yell out that they're a bunch of lazy, no good dogs, then guess what? The reaction that's coming back is not the microphone, it's you. So the diva is on an instrument used in order to project your thoughts and actions on a particular sort of plane and to give you the reaction back. To create that reaction back for you.
So it's karma.
It's karma. Because the divas are loyal servants of the laws of karma. That's a good definition for a diva. They are lords, they are loyal servants of the laws of karma. That's what a diva is. Simple definition. Okay?
What she was saying more was controlling the mind through breath. Controlling the mind and thoughts through breath. Like pranayama.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the fourth limb of yoga, right? Like after.
Well, I don't like to get into simple definitions like that. Controlling the mind through breath. You control the mind through breath every second of your life. All right? Every day you breathe in 21,600 times a day. You breathe in and out 21,600 times a day. That's the thing that sustains your consciousness on this physical plane. So, if you do the first limb, then you're doing what?
Controlling the breath.
Controlling your mind through your breath. Right? If you do is just doing right. A moral life. Living a moral and trying to live a moral and righteous life. The same thing with the second limb.
Control sex.
The third limb, the fourth limb, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So don't confuse it, because there's what? There's three major ways that we pull prana and energy in this karmic matter into our body. And that's through what?
Breath.
The first one is what? Breath. The second one is what? Water. The third one is what? Food. Those are the three major ways we pull in our energy, right? This karmic matter, because all of the breath is karmic matter. The water is karmic matter, right? And then the food is atomic matter. It's all energy, right? Now, if we stop eating, we lose consciousness and die in how long?
30 days.
About 30 days, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we stop drinking water, we lose consciousness and die within what?
7 days.
3 to 7 days. And if we stop breathing, we lose consciousness in what?
Minutes.
Minutes. So every breath you take, you are controlling your consciousness. Breath is the most important thing. All right? And breath that's why breath is closely associated with what? The nadis. Because that's how you hold consciousness in place. Okay? Yeah.
What is that? Not sound consciousness?
Nada.
Not.
Nada is supreme sound coming from God. Right? And it's also consciousness. Because God spoke life into being, supposedly. Okay, and it's more deep than that, but that's what the ancient teachings tell us. But when we look at it, we find all of these things. So that's the demons, okay? Now, the thing, all of this sum up to mind, okay? Because we need all of this in order to do what? In order to function on the mental plane, right? And from the mental planes comes everything. Because everything began to function and to move into producing the life around us. We call it Texas solid gas, liquid, right? So we come to mind. So every thought that we think is produced by one of our chakras. Okay, it's produced through one of our chakras, and this is the mechanism that produces it. Okay, can you see that now? Okay, so it's through the nadis, so the nadis have to go through this, and this is, for simple terms, that's why they call it a vortex. Okay? It's a vortex of energy, which is also can be called a vortex of consciousness. Because the main thing it produces is consciousness. But it's a vortex of this subtle energy. Right? And this is a simple version of this. Okay? Because I gave you a paper, I gave you a spreadsheet that shows you all the different things on it. Do you read them? Yeah. What all the colors mean, and colors associated with each chakra or whatever. I'm bringing it in next week for you all who don't have it. But that is the simple version of it, so you can understand. And then here I didn't go into the Mahabhutas and the pranas and all of that. But each chakra has a prana, has an associated prana, has an associated cosmic element. This particular chakra, the cosmic element, is Apas. Apas, which is water. And it has Vienna as the prana, as the internal prana in the body, okay, which circulates throughout the whole body, which is the sixth chakra. The base of the spine has the energy of prana. The prana, the five, one of the five major pranas. And the Ritis, which is a solid cosmic element. What would you say?
What's the mechanism that pushes that Vienna up on Nadis, right?
Yeah, it all flows through the nadis.
So along with the stream of consciousness. Move out.
Yeah, well, you have a vortex, well, let me say that, the vortex, the traffic rays bring in that, if that's what you mean, then the Nadi's carried it through through the body. The traffic rays, along with the traffic rays comes the Mahabhutas and the prana, right? And Mahabhutas and the prana is really one thing, but it's a higher form than a lower form, or different operations of prana. I don't want to say higher form, but different operations of prana or Shakti power. And the traffic rays, the vortex center that is developed based on karmic pressure and law, it pulls in that Vijnana energy through the sex center. And then the Nadis carry it through the body. Okay. So when the Nadis go through, when the Nadis come up and go through the petals, it picks up that energy and carry it through the body.
That's why I thought, on a basic level, thoughts affect the body because, it carries that energy which we give it.
Yeah, for now, yeah. Well, remember, everything is interrelated, all right? Because the Vijnana energy also operates on all the other chakras too. But the central entry point and the central location of it is the sex center. But remember, the Vijnana energy, it runs all through the body. It's just like the Udana prana moves through the head and through the arms and legs. See? And that energy originates at the throat level.
That's what I'm saying. Depending on, I guess, the mode of motion of your thought that you're creating. Say you're right now in the mindset, for example, to build a company.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting into motion a greater force, let's say Vijnana, when you're writing it all out and hammering out the details and creating the thing.
Yeah.
And you're exercising, you're trying to better your entire body, maybe you're setting into motion more of the Vijnana.
Right.
That controls the whole body.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, that the state of mind you're in, the mental state of
Yeah,
mind
but
you're in.
it's not that simple too, because let's say if you building a company for your own selfish purposes. See, that kind of colors the energy a little bit.
Or if you're doing exercise just a little bit.
Yeah, for vanity, that changes things too. The intent changes things. The intent of the action colors the energy. So that's how you gotta look at it. Yeah, it's not that you operating on the throat center and that's where your consciousness is, no. It's the intent behind your actions. That creates the pressure, that creates the karmic links and everything. Okay.
What is
Vijnana is a prana that travels throughout all the body. It's a prana associated with, I guess, with the Mahabhuta of water. It's like 70% of our body, over 70% of our body is water. Okay, well, Vijnana is that energy that associates itself with that water. And it originates from the sex chakra. Alright. They say it carries a color of orange, too. An orange type color. In its motion of movement. Alright.
So our thoughts are projected through the psychic centers, or pushed through the psychic centers.
Yeah.
And higher thoughts come from higher centers, baser, lower thoughts come from lower centers. But what is it that's generating those thoughts?
What do you mean?
Like, is it will that creates the thought and then it's pushed, depending on the type of thought, it's pushed through the corresponding psychic center?
Well, it's all based on it's all based on the 7 dimensions of creation. That's what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
But it's still you, the basic you, or the higher self you that generates the thoughts. Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
It's still going through that same vehicle of the Nadis, right? And when the Nadis come through the particular chakra, it picks up the appropriate type of matter. it operates on. Okay? And for instance, if you can understand this, and I tried to explain this to y'all before, I don't know if y'all get it, you think, if I put a lizard in here, and I had a roach, and I had a cat, and I had a fish, right? Right, and then even this camera, whatever, all of them on different, each intelligence is operating on a different realm of existence, right then and there because of his consciousness. Okay? Now, and it's pulling on, it seems like it's pulling on the same energy, right? But if it's pulling on the same energy, why isn't it expressing itself in the same way? It is not expressing itself in the same way because of this. All right? And the scientists will tell you because of the electronic magnetic spectrum. But of course, thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, the yogis gave us this and told us this is the reason why. Which is similar to what the scientists are saying today, which I think they stole it from them. But it's because as that energy comes in and forms that vortex, and that stream of consciousness comes through that, it breaks into that type of matter, and it produces that level of consciousness. And that's why, in other words, Master Third said a worm is a worm only because they believe that it's a worm. And that's why he was saying that. Can you understand that now? Only because he believed. The minute that he embraced his or her inheritance, right, it breaks out of that, and it becomes whatever it needs to be. It's like when you grab hold to a greater knowledge and wisdom of life, your life transforms into whatever you want it to be because of that greater wisdom in life. Because why? You begin to shape and mold all your actions in one direction. And then you live, and then you experience that for a minute, and then you have another, elevated thought that move you to another level and another level. So that's, you're only who you are because you believe that that's who you are. So it's you choose where you want to operate and where you want to experience life. You choose that. No one else but you. In this write-up, I put a glossary back. The words I'm using, or you read through there, and words you see that you don't understand is, and all these, I try to make it as thorough as possible. There's a glossary for the different meanings. I guess next week we will go into, we'll finish up the base of the spine and the sex center, and then maybe we'll go to the solar plexus. Is there any other questions?
Yeah. What are the innings of yoga?
I think I have it in there too.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
It's right here.
You said what page is on?
25.
25.
Thank you.
25 and 26.
Okay. Very clean. Yeah.
I gave a brief definition.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there a scientific proof of these things?
Wow.
I'm doing research on something, like how sounds affect us, like how words we say and the words we listen, how they affect us. So I'm searching for scientific proofs. I'm not found, I just found that water experiment that I took from Robin. That's it.
There's a lot of,
Great experiments, but people are just, they're just, they say it's pseudoscience, it's not really science, and, I'm searching for.
of course they're gonna say that, but there's a lot of information out there on that.
Can you tell me something like what?
I can't remember it right now, but there's a lot.
Because like on the power of words, there are so many philosophical texts, there's so much philosophy, but there's not, there's way less things to really do with things.
No, there's a lot of proof. I think, see, the science, science try to limit the basic, I don't want to say science, but I would say, gross physical science, they try to limit their scope of intake of information, and they say, I'm keeping it pure by doing that. But sound is a person's thought and expression. And it's what you write, it's what you see in letters, right? And it's also what you whisper, and it's also what you hear, gross. So sound, sound can be expressed on all those different levels. Because if, let's say, many years ago, they did an experiment in the theaters where they did, I'm sure you all probably heard of this, they did like subliminal type things in the theater where on I think every fifth or sixth or eighth frame, they put in there, go buy popcorn. Alright? And what happened was, now, when the film is rolling, if you have a 16 millimeter film, that means you got 16 frames of the same thing, and then it changes until it looks like a motion picture, right? So they would put something in there, you can't see it because it's moving so quick, right? You can't consciously see it. But your subconscious mind or your unconscious mind sees it, right? So what they found back in the day, they used to have these 3-hour movies, right? And when they had 3-hour movies back then, they had an intermission, right? Where they go an hour and a half, and they break up, and you go use the bathroom, get your popcorn, and then they put the next roll of film on, and they show the other hour and a half, right? So, but to test, what they told everybody to go buy popcorn and soda or something like that, and they put it in little tiny writings, so when they moving the film, of course, no one's seen it and say, look, because they're going so fast, you didn't see it. But they found that in the intermission, that they had a huge spike of people going to buy popcorn and soda. So now, letters is an expression of sound. The only way someone read that is because they knew what? The expression of that sound. If they spoke a foreign language, it would not affect them. See? But since they spoke English, they seen it, and they responded to it.
Consciously they didn't see it.
They seen it unconsciously, and that lets you know that you're working on many realms of existence. They were working on an unconscious level, still, although they're working on the conscious level. But most people are walking around semi-conscious anyway, But they seen that, and then they, in fact, it got so bad that that the government restricted them from doing stuff like that. They can't use subliminal suggestion. You know, the government said no because you're forcing people to do something they don't want to do. You know, someone's full and they still went out and brought a popcorn, you know, or the popcorn is bad for their health and they still went and brought the popcorn because they had this craving for popcorn now. Because hundreds, maybe thousands of times on that film moving around, while they're watching the film, they just kept putting in their head, go buy popcorn, you know. So after an hour and a half of seeing that, we jumped up and went and brought popcorn. So there's a lot of case studies of stuff like that, which I, as a mystic, would associate that with sound. And maybe a real deep scientist would too. You know, also they had things where they whisper something to people, but it's on a level that you can't hear it consciously, but you can hear it subconsciously, and people go out and do it. And there's all types of studies like that. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but I know it's all different. Just Google case studies of. Subliminal. I know the subliminal messages. It's called subliminal. You know, subliminal, and I mean you can Google that, and then just Google case studies of sound affecting plant life, sound affecting human expression. You know, and there's hundreds, thousands of case studies going back all the way back to the 1800s. That's how long they've been doing it. You know, they got case studies. In fact, they had back in the 1800s, they had this. I can't remember the type. It was a type of sand that responds to sound. And what they would do, they would take take certain music, and they had this sandbox, and they would push the sound in there, and the sand would make different designs. It would automatically pop up and make different designs. And they did it with master too. And in fact, the AEO master had always created a perfect circle when the AEO master was pronounced over the sand. And it was I forget what type of sand it was. But there's case studies, and that goes all the way back to the 1800s when they discovered that particular type of sand. So there's all different types of studies on that. Now, I mean, it's evident. I mean, scientists can see something make total sense. And the physical science, pure physical scientists, and they would dismiss it until they can associate it with something physical. Although there's not one person on this earth that's totally physical. So it doesn't make sense. You know, but they do that. Any other questions? No, we can close out. What are we doing now?
So what would the source of mind be in the chakra system? Like, is mind behind human chakra system?
Yeah, mind is having matter. Mind is Nada.
Yeah.
Mind is Zoot, is the BJ. Mind is the Nazis too. You know, and of course there's a certain mind with the Beatles.
You say we're using this whole system to tap into mind?
Well, you wanted to use mind at a different level. A different level of operation, which is basic mind. Basic consciousness. Alright? But mind is all it is. Mind is the background of all things. Because mind does what? What do we say when we start out?
All the shapes.
It molds and shapes matter. Or energy. Y'all ready to close out?
again, we'll be switching over to YouTube next week. If you go to our mysticknowledge.org website, you'll see more information about it. If you go to videos.mystickknowledge.org, it'll automatically redirect you to our YouTube site. And if you go to Meetup, meetup.mystickknowledge.org, it'll automatically direct you to our Meetup website, which is also where our email list is hosted, and we send out updates and information on our classes.